The lock on it was dauntingly strong looking. We don't have any crappy locks here. It seemed to demand the appropriate resolution from whoever would enter, just like the ritual storehouse. When the double doors opened, a stifling rotten air and a bunch of winged insects came rushing out. I remembered accidentally killing a hermit crab a long time ago by leaving its tank out on the porch, and how intense the odor it left was. If that was the smell of a corpse, then that's certainly what this smelled like. Inside, it was pitch black, but Mion flicked a switch that turned on a light bulb, illuminating the interior. The path turned into a series of intricate wooden tunnels. We passed spaces that looked like they were for storage. We passed places that looked like someone had lived there. All this indicated that it had been used as a bomb shelter and stockpiled during the war. It didn't give an impression of a dugout bomb shelter that had just been left there, though. There was a sense of dignity, as though this were a second Sonozake house constructed underground. Despite being in pitch darkness below the ground, the voices of the cicadas were entering through an air hole somewhere, giving it a very mysterious feel.
細具殿の中、見たよね。あの拷問道具の山を。あれはすべて鬼ヶ淵村の厳しい戒律を守るために作られたものだった。戒律を破った者を見せしめにむごたらしく殺してみせる。
大昔の話だろ。
本来は見せしめの儀式。渡流しは御三家が取り仕切る儀式だったんだけど、君吉家と古出家の衰退、そして時代の変化によって行うことはとても難しくなった。
そりゃそうだな。この現代日本で犠牲者をのんびりと沢で殺せるなんて思えない。
だから園崎家は作ったの。現代でも綿流しの儀が行えるように、秘密の場所を。
It's gonna get spooky. Mion opened a large, strikingly different door. And inside was none other than a modern storehouse for ritual implements. Hey,
いろいろ
it looks just like
あるでしょ。
it looks just like the other one.
一部のものは実際に西宮殿から運び込まれたものなんだよ。
Oh, we got this music again. That reminds me of a corpse party again. All of the things there had been rusty and covered in dust, so they didn't seem that real. But the things in here were different. Every one of them had been well maintained, and kept in a state that they could be used right away. Blades gleamed, and spikes were sharpened. Also, I do want to mention once again, Keiichi, there's a pretty decent chance that you could get offed in here, I'm just saying. Also, perhaps as a precaution for the splatter of blood, the walls and ceilings were covered in the kind of tiling you would see in bathrooms, and there was even a drain set amidst the slight slope in the floor. There was also a coiled rubber hose along the wall attached to a faucet, perhaps for cleaning up the splattered blood.
大昔の当主の書き物によるとね、血のしぶきってのは犠牲者に負担をかけない割にはインパクトがあるんだってさ。綿流しは見せしめのショーだったから、私のご先祖様たちは様々なショーを考案してたんだよ。
As she said that, Mion pointed deeper into the torture room, to a spot veiled in darkness. There was surprisingly a room floored with tatami mats, and in the corner was a pile of cushions.
鑑賞席なんだよ。綿流しは見せしめのショーだから、客がいなきゃ意味がない。
Oh, that sounds comfy. I couldn't speak, and I couldn't think of anything to say anyway. Except that if Mion revealing all this to me made her heart feel any lighter, then I was prepared to listen for as long as I needed to.
みんなここで、私が殺した。見てくれている観客はいなかったけど、私は綿流しを上手にやってみせた。
Don't worry, the soy sauce is definitely down here. I do need to clean up a little bit. It does smell terrible, doesn't it? Don't worry about that.
いや、観客は一人だけいたかな。
観客？
Would that be Shion?
私、
Oh, okay.
私という鬼がミオンの執り行う綿流しをずっと見てたから。
Mion cackled in self-deprecation. Sorry. Big words, scary. It wasn't a nice sounding laugh.
向こうが牢屋。
シオンはそこにいるのか？
She nodded slightly. Mion's Watanagashi had ended today. I needed to tell Shion that I was safe without a moment's delay. After all, she was probably trembling in fear at this very moment, worrying about when she would be killed. Assuming, see, she's still alive, but do we necessarily know if she's in any state to live for much longer? I don't know. The ostentatious door on the other side opened, revealing what must have been an incredibly expansive space based on the echo it made. Mion groped around in the darkness, and a handful of naked light bulbs came on here and there. Oh, this does look really dungeony, doesn't it? Like the brig under the castle. As my eyes adjusted, more and more of the great cave showed itself in the faint light. The walls were bare rock surface, and it felt so savage that bomb shelter was the most apt term for it. There were small barred rooms built here and there, like holes made by insects biting their way through a giant piece of fruit. It was immediately clear that each one of them was a prison.
みんなはどこにいるんだ？リカちゃんやサトコは。
したい？
I grimaced at her having said it so outright.
ああ、そうだ。いつまでも暗い中じゃかわいそうだろ。
虫が湧くと嫌だったから井戸に捨てちゃったよ。ごめん。
So I can't even see their faces in death. Once again, my feelings of regret at having confessed everything to Rika-chan came surging forth. If Mion hadn't attached the word sorry to the end of what she said, I might have punched her. Calm down, Keiichi Maibara. You said it yourself. No matter what, Mion Sonozaki is your greatest friend. Can't even bother to hold on to the corpses of your dead friend. But you know what? She's still a good friend. I needed to hear myself say it out loud. Then came the clattering of bars in one of the cells deeper in. When I noticed it, I looked up as well.
シオンか。
ケイちゃんなの。
I ran over to the cell. White hands were peeking out through the gaps in the bars. It really was her.
大丈夫か？シオン、怪我はしていないのか？
Shion's face twisted out of shape as she screamed. It was because Mion had appeared right behind me. Of course. Shion didn't know that everything was over yet.
落ち着け、シオン。もう全部終わったんだ。全部。
I spoke in as calm as a voice as I could manage to try and soothe the agitated Shion. However, it didn't seem like it was getting through her screams.
シオン、ご機嫌はいかがだった？
Oh, everything's been lovely in the dark cave.
もう誰の死を見るのも嫌。私が憎いのは私なんでしょ？
Yeah, I think you kind of ruined her for life at this point. She's probably gonna need therapy forever.
落ち着けってシオン。もう終わったんだよ。
Yeah, my sister murdered people in front of me while I was locked in our family's cave dungeon. And the therapist just says, I don't think I can help you with that one. That's pretty bad.
大丈夫なんだ。だから落ち着け。
Shion, who was screaming and rattling the iron bars back and forth, was truly in a frantic state. I gave a slight shrug of resignation, giving way to Mion. I'd realized that if Mion was the one who locked her in here, and if Mion was the one who had scared Shion this much, then Mion was also the only one who could put an end to this. Mion spoke from over my shoulder, quietly.
安心しなよ。
Oh, she's got the evil face. It's gonna be good.
あんたは殺さない。まだまだ殺さないんだから。
I knew it, Keiichi. She's gonna kill us in her murder dungeon. She burst out into a bizarre laugh, as if trying to make Shion's madness even worse. Shion broke out into a fierce shiver, brought on by that laugh, and rattled the iron bars as she wailed. Yeah, I figured we were gonna die. Fortunately, he does, doesn't he? I think we made a bad decision here, Keiichi.
そんなに死にたければこの男を殺した後にゆっくりとひき肉にしてやるよ。
Just saying, you got lured into her evil murder dungeon. I'm not surprised, let's just say that, because Keiichi's an idiot in this world line, chapter, whatever.
古式にのっとり獅子の先端から少しずつガリゴリと削ってミンチにしてやる。あの肉引き器はあんたのために取っておいてあるんだからね。それともそれでケイちゃんをミンチにしてみせた方があんたには面白いかな。
おい、いい加減にしろ。
Keiichi, you're an idiot.
今さら怖がらせてどうするんだよ。
This is the point where, like, you might be able to get out of this alive. Maybe. If you stop doing this whole, oh, she's my best friend thing. Please. I tried to rebuke Mion for flinging terrible words at her this late in the game, but when I turned around... I told you! He's an idiot! Oh, we got the spooky music too. Mion's mouth, so much so that it was hard to believe, had twisted into a shape even thinner than a crescent moon. It was a smile. That's what she wanted. She wanted to... I'm pretty sure she's gonna kill Keiichi right in front of her. I could sense it like a jolt of electricity. The person here wasn't my best friend Mion. It wasn't the Mion Sonozaki who had been tossed about by her heavy duty of succeeding the Sonozaki family either. Then, who was she? Is it Mion the demon? Bam! I saw sparks flying before my eyes, like what happens when you get hit in the back of the head. The strength in my body drained instantly, and my head suddenly became heavy. My knees buckled under the temptation and hit the floor. Then my whole body abruptly collapsed. My face should have hit the floor, but it was comfortable, as if I had fallen onto a down-filled futon. My consciousness reeled, then receded. It was the kind of sensation, like if you took a nap in the car, but you were still half awake, and could listen to your parents talking as if they were far away. No, you wouldn't be listening. You would only be hearing it. It was happening so far away, and the conversation was completely unrelated to you, so you would have no interest in it. So whether Shion was yelling in my ears, or Mion was in vulgar hysterics, I didn't think it annoying, nor did it interest me. Are we gonna get put in the mincing machine? Ow.
あのチビガキ二人組に試したかったんだけど、手が小さくて高速台にサイズが合わなかったからね。 あれにしようあれにしよ
Ha 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 ha! Mian held me up from behind and dragged me across the floor. The soles of my feet scraped on it, and one of my shoes fell off.
う。もうやめてよね。やめて。
Well, I guess if she's gonna kill Shion anyway, at least that deals with the therapy problem. Shion's emotions exploded outward, and she burst into bitter weeping. As if her crying had whetted Mion's interest, she had flung me down and returned to the prison cell again.
あんたも可愛い声で泣けるじゃない。あんたのわざとらしい空威張りには虫唾が走ってたんだけど、やっぱりそういうあんたが一番似合ってるよ。ミオン姉さん、お願いです。私をどういう風に殺しても構いませんから。どうかケイちゃんだけは見逃してあげてください。お願いです。
Shion had always acted as though she were a cut above her older sister. That Shion, in such a miserable voice that I couldn't have imagined it during those peaceful times, prostrated herself before the older sister she used to scoff at, and pleaded for forgiveness. Mion looked down with an expression of cool indifference, one that was plainly smiling with joy.
あんたの希望なんか聞くつもりは全然なかったんだ。あんたがあまりにも面白い声で泣くものだから、なんだか聞いててやってもいいような気がしてきたかな。思えばあんたには姉らしいこと何にもしてやれなかったからね。はい、はい、ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。じゃあさ、これまでのことを謝ってみせてよ。そうしたら私もこれまでのことをすっかり水に流してあげてもいいかな。そうしたらケイちゃんだけは見逃してあげなくもないよ。
Mion said she might let me go, but she never said anything about letting Shion go. Before long, Shion got on her hands and knees behind the bars and began to speak weak words of apology. They were too faint for me to hear, but their intention got across. Despite having watched her with a magnificently jubilant expression, Mion kicked the bars and declared she was unsatisfied.
そんなので私の積年の恨みつらみが償えると思ってるわけ？こんなんじゃダメだね。やっぱりケイちゃんからひき肉だ。
Sorry, it kind of turns comical after a while. Especially just with how dumb Casey was.
待って姉様、もう一度だけ。
Mion stopped and waved her hand again in resignation. Not because she had grown impatient, but only because she was taking delight in abusing Shion.
ろくろく満足に謝れないあんただからね。特別にお姉が心に届く謝罪の仕方ってのを教えてあげるよ。一度しか教えないし、一言一句でも間違えたらアウト。いいね。ありがとうございます。お姉さん。
Shion's miserable voice cried out, having become utterly hoarse. The sensation tearing through my chest returned a little at a time. I realized it was feelings of anger bubbling up. I was slowly regaining control of my body. However, I was only able to feel my skin and my blood flowing at the moment. I still couldn't voluntarily move my fingers.
ちゃんと覚えられたかな？ではやってごらん。誠心誠意、鉄頭鉄尾、心を込めてね。ちゃんとできたなら、あんただけを殺してあげるから。はい。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Something was strange. something had become strange at some point. Until just a few moments ago, I was sure this had been Mion, but at some point she'd become someone else. The Mion I knew well would never do something so nasty like enjoy trampling all over someone's dignity like this.
さ、やってごらん。お姉ちゃんがちゃんと聞いててあげる。園崎シオンは。
When I ran over to Shion's cell earlier, had the real thing been swapped out with a fake right behind me? Anyway, this couldn't possibly be Mion.
園崎シオンはミオン姉様の足元にも及ばない醜く情け知らずな愚か者でございます。身の程をわきまえずお姉様に働いて数々の無礼を思えばほらほらその調子少しは許してあげようかなって気になってきたよ。
Blood circulated through my whole body. My numbed senses were returning. Just a little more. While Shion is still holding Mion's... No, that thing pretending to be Mion's attention. Hurry up!
生意気だったこれまでを反省し一緒ミオン姉様に忠誠を誓いですか。
Mion's burst of laughter echoed throughout the big cave, growing to a terrifying level. That was not the laugh of someone who is alive in this world. It was none other than the laugh of a demon from the bowels of the earth. She laughed from her stomach until she grew tired of it, and stopped smiling suddenly as if snipping a wire.
いいよ、もう十分面白かったわ。あんたがそこまでプライドを捨てられるとは思わなかったから。
Why are we in here now?
十分に愉快。
Mion began to drag me again, after I finally got the feeling in my body back, and pulled me towards the torture chamber.
姉様、殺すな。私、その人、許してあげ。安心しなって。ちゃんとあんたは殺してあげるよ。ケイちゃんの悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせた後にね。
After dragging me to the torture chamber, she skillfully strapped me into the restraining table. Before I knew it, I was sprawled out and bound. She forced open my hands, with which I couldn't even make a satisfying fist, and tightly restrained each one of my fingers. She fastened only my hands, and my fingers at that, tightly with hinges and locked them in place. The door to the big cave with the jails had been left open, so I could hear Shion's cries of mortification the entire time.
聞こえるかい、シオン。これから始めるよ。ケイちゃんの若い悲鳴をたっぷりと楽しみな。
いい加減にしろ。
The feeling in my body returned, and the first action I took was to tell off the thing that looked like Mion.
ようやくお目覚め。私、さっき嘘をつい
I clearly have seen that now. Thank you.
シオンを一番むごたらしく殺してやろうと思って閉じ込めておいたけど、まだ思いつかないって言ったよ。
I know.
あれが嘘。
Pretty sure a lot of this was a lie. Mion brought over something like a toolbox. From inside it, she removed a large metal hammer. And next to that, she began to line up what looked like long, strangely shaped nails, whose end had been turned into hooks like the kind you'd see on a harpoon.
あの子に自分のせいで死ぬ大勢の人の悲鳴をたっぷりと聞かせて、体の芯まで染み通らせて殺すの。 かなかセンスいいでしょ。
お前は誰だ？
は？ミオンでしょ。園崎ミオン。恐怖で頭が変になっちゃった。
違うな。お前が園崎ミオンであるはずがない。
Mion snorted and continued her preparations for the horrifying torture.
へえ。じゃあ私がミオンじゃなかったら私は誰なわけ？
鬼だ。
え？
お前はミオンじゃない。さっきまで一緒だったミオンを返せ。
Give her back.
ケイちゃん、本当に頭は大丈夫？恐怖で頭がどうかなっちゃった？
触るな、この鬼め。返せ、ミオンを返せよ。俺の最高の友人だったミオンを返せ。
Mion stood there for a few moments with her jaw hanging open, not having expected me to say that. I myself knew that I was about to go insane. I knew that it was nonsense to demand Mion's return when she was right in front of me. But, this person in front of me couldn't possibly have been Mion. There was no way I could accept that. So this is what I thought. Mion really had been possessed by a demon, and was controlling Mion as if it were a separate personality. Mion was just a victim being manipulated by it. The evil one was really this thing. It all had to be the doing of this demon possessing her. Ha 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 ha. We're gonna die. It's gonna be real painful too. When Mion heard that, she started to cough, laughing so hysterically that she started to cough and almost choked.
あんたって本当におめでたい人だね。園崎ミオンに殺されようとしているこの瞬間に目の前の私を否定するわけ？こんな面白い人が世の中にいるなんて初めて知ったわ。
笑いたければ好きなだけ笑え。だがお前が何を言おうと俺はお前がミオンだなんて認めない。ミオンを返せ、退け、鬼め。
姉ちゃん、私を笑い涙で溺れ殺すつもり
No matter what, I wouldn't lose to that laughter of hers. I shouted loudly. I shouted from the bottom of my heart, so that the real Mion trapped inside the Mion I saw in front of me would be able to hear.
頑張れミオン。こんな鬼畜生に負けるな。本当に強い。お前の力を見せてくれ。
The tears welled up and flooded down her face. Her hands were busy with the restraints, so she couldn't even wipe them. She just let them flow.
頼むよミオン。どこでお前はこんな鬼に負けちまったんだ。お前はこんな弱いやつじゃないだろ。負けるな。戦え、戦え。
Fight! Mion, desperately enduring her laughter, pressed one of the long nails to the tip of my left pinky. In her left hand was the hammer. At her side were dozens more nails. Ha! I only have 10 fingers! I could tell what she was about to do, though I wish I couldn't. Even so, I couldn't afford to be scared. That was why I shouted.
お腹の筋肉がよじれて痛いよ。もういい？ そろそろ始めるよ。いい声を出してね。これはケイちゃんへの拷問である以上にシオンへの拷問なんだからさ。
どうしてこんなことに。ミオン。
Then I wept. Only sobs came out. They weren't in acceptance of the torture about to be performed, however. They were tears of regret that Mion had lost to the demon. Yet a small change did occur in the Mion in front of me. Her heightened excitement was draining little by little. By the time I'd realized it, the one in front of me had returned to being Mion.
ケイちゃん、メイドの土産なんて気の利いたものじゃないけれど、どうしても知りたがっているようだから、一つだけ教えてあげるよ。
I didn't know if this was Mion, or just a display of momentary humanity the demon had recovered.
私の中に鬼が宿ったのはずいぶん前。その鬼は私を蝕み、強行に駆り立てようとした。だけれど私はそれを理性で押さえつけた。鬼はそれで収まり、私はその鬼はどこかへ行ってしまったんだと思い込んでいた。でも本当は違った。私の中から出て行ったんじゃなく、私の中で眠っていただけだったの。
I noticed that there were tears forming in her eyes.
その鬼はある小さなことをきっかけにまた目覚めてしまった。それは何に原因があったと思う？
There was a sad and yet reproachful light in Mion's eyes.
わかる？
I don't know what gave the demon the chance to beat Mion.
鬼の私が教えるのも変だけれど、あんたが全てを狂わせてしまった元凶。
The tears welling up in her eyes spilled downward all of a sudden.
あの時、あんたがもらった人形を躊躇なく
It's
私
all
に
your
渡
fault,
していたな
Keiichi.
ら、全ては狂い出さなかったかもしれない。
You didn't give her the doll because you thought it wouldn't be the kind of thing she'd like. This is your fault, Keiichi. You should accept your being dead. The doll I got, when we had our club meeting at the toy store that Sunday.
ケイちゃんには理解できないだろうね。理解できなくて当然。だけどね、そこからドミノ倒しみたいにパタパタパタといろんなものが倒れ始めて、収拾がつかなくなってしまった。はじめの小さな一つを倒したあなたに自覚がないのは当然だろうけど、あなたが元凶なの。
It's your fault, really.
そんな、俺が。
あんたがミオンを泣かさなかったら、私は起きなくて済んだのにね。これで十分、メイドの土産は。
The mistake that I'd made on that day was what messed everything up.
そんな、嘘だろ。
自覚がないのは当然。でも紛れもなく元凶なのはケイちゃん。あの時あんたがさりげなく人形を私にあげていたら、多分こんなことにはならなかったと思う。
I wanted to say, like I just remembered something, as I recalled that day. Rena had told me about that, and I thought I had apologized. I didn't apologize to Mion, though. It had been Shion. In other words, oh God, I hadn't said a single word of apology to Mion. Today I came to this house saying I had something to apologize for, but I never said a word of apology about this. Come to think of it, when I'd apologized for going into the ritual storehouse, Mion looked a little bit lonely, like she was disappointed. Why didn't I realize that until just now? Rena told me at the time, and now she herself... No, the demon was telling me. Is the only way for a dense idiot like me to be cured to die altogether? I could no longer hold back the hot tears from pouring out of me. I simply just cried and cried, and reflected indifferently on the taste of my tears, on the taste of regret.
じゃあそろそろいい？この拷問はね、とってもシンプル。
Mion pressed the tip of a nail to my left pinky finger. My wrist, my arms, and all the joints in my fingers were strapped in so tightly it hurt, and I couldn't even twitch.
他の人を相手にするときには何のためらいもなかった。
It's nice to know you hesitate a little bit before you murder.
なぜかあんたにはためらいがあるよ。
When it's Keiichi.
それでミオンの鬼が収まるなら
If it will sate the demon, then do to me what you will.
あんた本気で言ってるの？
I mean, that's not the way I would do that, but, you know. Clearly this is your fault, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
俺が傷つけたミオンの痛みに比べればこんなの大したことないんだろ。
Man, Keiichi is such an idiot.
気の済むようにする。
You didn't give her a freaking doll and she's gonna nail you to death. Come on.
その代わり二つ約束しろ。
Most people deal with rejection in different ways. Usually that's not nailing the rejected or the person who rejected them to a board until they die. Mion was silent. She did, however, wait for me to speak.
俺を気が済むまで痛めつけたらシオンは許してやれ。西宮殿に忍び込んだ罪にはそれで十分見合う仕打ちをしたはずだ。
あんたこの後に及んで自分よりシオンの心配ができるわけ？
もう一つは
As soon as we die,
気が済んだらもうお前は消えろ。
as soon as we die, she's just gonna off Shion anyway. Usually, probably cackling loudly while showing Keiichi's dead body to her.
その体をミオンに返してやってくれ。それだけだ。
あんたって人には命乞いをするとかそういう考えは思い浮かばないの？
約束。
Can you not kill me as well? That'd be a great third
3つに
option.
していいか。3つ目は俺を殺すなにしてくれ。
Ow.
最初に2つって言ったでしょ。だからもうダメ。
そいつは残念。
In such an abnormal situation, Mion and I laughed quietly together, as if sharing in a stupid joke.
多分私は約束を守らないよ。鬼だから。
その時は仕方がないさ。
I recalled tightening my hands into fists when enduring the pain at the dentist office. Right now, though, they were opened all the way to my fingertips, so I couldn't even grip them. So instead, I tightened my toes. Okay, do it. I prepared myself already. So do it. You waiting like this to hammer the nails in is scarier. It's going to diminish my readiness after all. Mion put down the hammer and gently stroked my cheek.
ケイちゃん、今の3つ目の願いだけは。
So you're gonna leave us alive and kill Shion. Good. My third wish. To save me. She'll agree to it?
1つ目の願い。
Wait, what?
シオンを救うこと。
Oh, okay.
これはもう無理。
Oh, I see what you mean. Gotcha.
シオンは鬼が殺してしまう。
Alright, fair enough. I didn't even know she existed in the first game, so... It's not agreeable, but it's okay, I guess.
それはもう決められたことだから止められない。だから諦めて。
Her delicate fingers slid from my cheek to my chin.
そして二つ目の願い。この体をミオンに返すこと。これももう無理。今日を境にミオンが戻ってくることはもうない。今日以降、もし私の姿があったとしても、それは姿だけ。私の姿をした鬼だから。
そんなことはない。ミオンはミオンだ。もう戻ってこないなんて悲しいことを言うな。
聞こえる？あの音。
Mion gently closed her eyes and listened. I definitely heard it as well. Slam? Salam. Slam. It was a dull noise that repeated at fixed intervals. A low noise accompanied by vibrations. A lot of people were ramming the iron door to this underground ritual storehouse.
帰りが遅いからレナが大石を呼んだんでしょ。
Yeah, I wouldn't be terribly surprised, to be honest.
あのぼやーっとした感じの子がこんなに頭が回るのだけは計算外だったな。
それについては同感だよ。
Mion grinned like she'd been outwitted, then took something that looked like an electric razor out of her pocket. When she pressed the switch, pale blue sparks flew out with a snapping noise.
見たことないでしょ。本物のスタンガンだよ。かなり出力が上げられるようになってるけどね。
さっき俺に食らわせたのはそれか。子供のおもちゃには向かねえぞ。
そうだね。
She seemed to want to use the stun gun on me. Unable to move, I felt her press the cool lump of metal to my neck. Slam! I heard a roar as though they'd broken down the first large door. The halls were a bit complex, but aside from the door to this very torture chamber, there was nothing in their way.
殺さないけど、しばらくケイちゃんにはお休みしててもらうね。すぐに大石が来てくれるから、ちょっとの我慢。
Feeling the same shock as before. Gritting my teeth wasn't going to help much, but I clenched them tightly anyway. However, just as she did when she was about to hammer the nails in, she hesitated a little. I cracked open my tightly closed eyelids.
ごめんね。ミオンを怪我して。
ここに入る前に約束した。何があっても俺の中のミオンは変わらない。
でも忘れて。今日以降、もしも私を見かけても、それは私の屍に取り付いた鬼なんだから。
What are you talking about? Just as I tried to say that, a much stronger light than before shined, and like a television being switched off, my consciousness went black. You're not gonna still do the nail thing. Like, I guess it's better that you're unconscious and do the nail thing than conscious, but that also sounds like pretty screwed up, I gotta say. Twisted Sisters. June 1983. String of disappearances occurred in Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone City, XX Prefecture. The suspect is Mion Sonozaki. She's suspected to have kidnapped 5 Hinamizawa residents between June 19th and June 21st. Oryu Sonozaki, Shion Sonozaki, Kichiro Kimiyashi, Rika Furude, and Satoko Hojo. Well, that's interesting. She kidnapped her grandmother? Imprisoned them and killed them. Preliminary investigations on the incident were delayed at the time due to insufficient evidence, but it was resolved coincidentally and shockingly. On the morning of the 23rd, a vehicle patrolling the Sonozaki property heard screams from inside and rushed in as an emergency measure. They secured the suspect's missing younger sister, Shion Sonozaki, and her 2 missing classmates, Keiichi Maibara and Rena Ryugu. Oh, and Shion didn't die? Or does that mean she's going to come back later and finish her? The suspect fled the scene. Deep in the detached basement on the Sonozaki property, which is believed to have been used to kill those who disappeared, we discovered hair, flakes of skin, blood, etc. of the other 4 missing persons: Oryu Sonozaki, Kiichiro Kimiyashi, Rita Furude, and Satoko Hojo. We concluded that the missing persons were tortured in the torture chamber. However, their remains have still not been found. At one of her imprisoned classmates' advice, we continued searching the detached basement of the Sonozaki property, which is where they were in prison, believing that they were there. However, we've still not located them or the suspect's escape route. In addition, investigations are continuing as to her participation in the serial freak-death incidents of recent years, thinking it would give some clue. But no evidence that Mion Sonozaki was involved, either directly or indirectly, has been found. You don't mean the freaky torture chamber on her property? I guess it's not like direct evidence, but it's like, maybe the person with the freaky torture chamber has a good spot to hold somebody and torture them to death. Possibly. There's still many unclear points as to the motive behind the incident, and as those of the Sonozaki family and the residents of Hinamizawa have been extremely uncooperative in assisting us, we expect to require a long time to clarify them. The opinion of a local officer knowledgeable about the region is that this may have been a lynching, an internal form of punishment punishing sacrilegious acts carried out against the beliefs of Hinamizawa village. It's clear that these incidents are particularly rooted in this region, and the prefectural police department has ordered a cautious investigation. We anticipated gaining valuable clues from the missing person believed to have been in prison for the longest time, Shion Sonozaki, the suspect's younger sister. But her mind was stricken by the grave after effects of the incident, and she's not been in a state of mind to properly answer any questions about what she knows. The psychiatrist concluded that she is in a temporary state of shock, but it doesn't seem hopeful that she will recover today either. Only a few days passed since that time. After that, I was rescued by Oishi-san and his subordinates, whom Rena had called in. Aside from my entirely blank state of mind, I had no external injuries. The most I had was a small burn mark from where the stun gun hit me. As I was having a checkup in the hospital, Oishi-san asked me all sorts of things. But I don't really remember what he asked or how I answered him. From what I heard, surprisingly, Mion still hadn't been captured. There were apparently a great many hallways and smaller rooms extending out from the depths of the prison. It wouldn't be strange if she had fled to one of those and hidden herself. The one fortunate aspect amidst all the misfortune was that Shion had been safely secured by the police. When I last saw Mion, she seemed like she was going to take me with her and then kill me. She probably didn't have enough time to, though, since Oishi-san came running in faster than she predicted. That was the only really fortunate thing to have happened. Of course, the rescued Shion, despite having no external wounds, now had a big, deep wound in her heart. She was in a severe state of confusion when they rescued her, and apparently she bit the police officers trying to resist. From what he heard, she was seeing Mion and everyone she saw. Hated not only the hospital, but even her own home, and had shut herself up somewhere in Shishabone, hiding her location. Additionally, in fear that Mion would come for her, she was moving from place to place every day, and even her parents weren't sure where she actually was. Wherever she was living, even now, Shion was spending her days in fear of Mion's shadow. Police were investigating the Sonozaki underground storehouse at this moment, since they couldn't find the remains of the other sacrifices. Hadn't Mion thrown the corpses into a well? I had a feeling I'd said that to him. That meant that a hidden tunnel, vertical like a well, was somewhere in those underground passages. The secret underground, without any maps or architectural drawings, which had swallowed up the remains of Rika-chan, Satoko, and everyone else, was still unwilling to speak the truth. I was brought back to that basement again, too, for an on-the-site inspection or something, but I didn't remember being of any help. I never wanted to go back there again. For days afterwards, the Sonozakis living in Okinomiya, in other words, Mion and Chion's parents, the big-name Yakuza, would come to our house to apologize, bringing many of their followers with them. However much my parents refused it, they piled up many 100,000 yen bills, calling it consolation money? Consolation. Gosh, I'm not doing well with pronunciation tonight. Every day. The amount of money grew each day, and after it had passed 2 million yen, they were given an envelope containing a letter. I don't know what was written in the letter. My parents talked about it by themselves for 2 whole nights, and decided to move away. See, this is the smartest decision that anyone in this stupid family has made thus far. Get out of this stupid freaking town with this stupid village and these stupid crazy people.
そっか。引っ越しちゃうんだね。いつ？
来月の
As
終わ
soon as possible.
り、ひなみ沢には結局、半年も居つかなかったことになるな。
寂しくなるね。私一人し
Yeah,
か
I know, all your
残らない
friends are dead or gone. I'm sorry. It's just like, this was crazy. Rena smiled sadly. If I had just said, yeah, I thought it would make her more lonely, so I changed the subject.
こう考えることがあるんだ。
That's how I broached it. Mion hadn't actually fled, but had been demoned away in the truest sense of the term. Where she went after she disappeared, that we didn't know. What was there, where she had disappeared to? I'd hoped there was a hobby shop dealing in imports, the kind Mion liked. In that place, she would definitely be free from the burdensome fetters of her family, and live not as Mion Sonozaki, but as just Mion, and enjoy herself. Maybe she's already met up with Satoko and Rika-chan. They must also have been waiting for the day Rena and I would join them, spending all their time doing club activities, as lively as they always were. When I told Rena that, she smiled and nodded to me. The incidents the Sonozaki family had been trying so hard to hide, too, were exposed to the magazines from this tiny, single seam. The serial incidents of recent years were all piled up like a long vine in the ground, pulled up, one by one, and for many days news of it was brought up on talk and variety shows. The shows, which were comedic and silly, never once tried to touch upon the grim, heavy history that Mion had been bearing. It made me mad to see them bringing the stuff up in jest, but there was nothing I could do about it now. How big an impression would these short few weeks I spent in Hinamizawa have on my life? During these few weeks, I met my best friends and had the best experiences of my life. I would probably never forget it for as long as I lived. As for the distorted image of Mion that the media created, after the masses got tired of treating her like a plaything, they would ball her up, throw her in the trash, and then she would fade away from their memories. As one of the few people who knew the real Mion, I must always make sure I remember her. Beyond any doubt, that will surely become my offering to her. The sky reached so far up, and towering cumulonibus clouds floated through it. The real summer was just before our eyes. It's a big cloud word. Even now, when 10 p.m. came around, I would expect a phone call from Shion. Or Mion, rather. Now that everything was over, of course, she would never call me. But it was precisely because she wouldn't call me that I was scared of who would call me this time. Plus, Mion still hadn't been caught. I couldn't say for sure that everything was completely over. On the other side of that fear, though, were my prayers that Mion was safe. When I thought like that, I was able to sleep, even with such terrifying thoughts. The lights were off. Before, her attacking when the lights were off was something that scared me. However, that feeling changed to regret within 2 days. The moonlight filtering through the gap in the curtain shone onto the desk and illuminated a doll. That's right. The doll that I should have given to Mion that day. She said it was an import from England or something and was all the rage, didn't she? From what Shion said, the most popular among them were the ones wearing the fluffy dress. After being released from the incident, the first place I went to was that toy store. Everything was apparently sold out besides the things on the storefront displays. I was refused once when they said they wouldn't sell the display products. But when they realized I was Survivor A from that incident, they immediately consented. Of course, even if I bought it, I might never have the chance to give it to her again. Even knowing that, I waited for the opportunity to give it to her. I waited like this for the opportunity, with it on the desk, so I could give it to her at any time.